Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Jonathan here with more tips and tricks for iRacing and a guide for iRacing as well. All right, next, let's talk about driver comfort, which is just saying. Let's go to the options here. So you have driver's view, field of view. I'm going to hover right over and tell you what it says. Controls how zoomed in the driver view is. You can find your ideal view by using a calculator by graphics tab. So what they're saying is, okay, cut off, is that find how far you're going to be, okay, from the distance of your screen to you, okay, and then you calculate the distance that you are and what you should be at. Now there are different kinds of ways you can do that. Metrics of apps out there. You can also, I would say, because I'm not highly recommended to do this, and I want to make sure this is basic. They have other YouTube channels out there that go further in depth about doing that. But every car is different. Let's be very clear too. When you say that depth of view, the field of view changes from every car. We're actually going to be in the street stock because that's where most people are going to do when it comes to doing oval racing when they first start out. But when you get into a truck, an Xfinity, a Cup car, the views change dramatically through one end and the other. Sometimes you try to keep them as close as possible, but sometimes you have to kind of zoom in, zoom out, depending on kind of what the car is. So the field of view is that driver height, that 1.6. I might have to even go in there. Roll case, pitch. This is a blend between locking the driver's head pitch, mounted angle, back and forth, neck motion. We'll get into that. A lot of this stuff can be done in car. So this is how we're gonna do this. First things first, we're gonna hit done. We're gonna hit test. So we're on here. So what you want to do is, just like we're on the force feedback, this is your overall mirror. So this is your virtual mirror. Virtual mirror. Okay, I'm gonna click on this. The more you do this, the more you're zooming in, the more you zoom out. Okay, now I never get around to do this, on which I should be doing this, and it probably helped me a lot better. You should find a buddy that you trust out there to get to your bumper, touch your bumper. Okay, and then the rule of thumb from what I got from a lot of other people is as soon as the driver's bumper disappears in your mirror, that's the distance that you should have on your mirror. Okay. Some say otherwise, but my rule of thumb is as soon as you kind of don't see that bumper in your mirror, that means one, that's making contact. So that's kind of where I would put it. Now I have it at 120. A lot of people have it in different views overall. So again, it's preference to you, but there's kind of recommendations to all that. All right, driver point of view. So this is the FOV, right? So the further I click on this, the further I go out, right? Obviously, you don't want to have it like this because you want it as close as possible. So what you want to do is you want to zoom in until you feel comfortable. Now, the rule of thumb in this is just my preference. You want to always see as enough as possible outside the left side of the car. Okay, the right side car, you're not going to see unless you hit the a button to trigger a button that can show you the other side of the car, or you're running VR, which is a whole different circumstances of settings as well. You can, of course, hit this way if you want, but I would at least want to see a little bit, especially if you're, let's say, you're doing restarts and whatever, and you're outside, you want to see that car take off. This is kind of a pretty good view. Of course, you can get a little bit closer. Maybe that's as far as I'd go, but I think this is probably a good distance to have. Now, driver height, how realistic you kind of want. Obviously, you go too high, you're not going to see anything. Obviously, you go too low, well, you know. So let's go back up. The best thing here is to just feel how high you want to be up in the car. just to see. Okay, and it changes again. Everybody's height's different. That's more or less on you, or how you sit in your seat, and everything like that. How comfortable you're gonna be. Don't, because you always see a lot of these professional drivers. You see them like way up there like this, and they're kind of like way down like that. Don't worry about what professional drivers do. Do what you feel comfortable doing. First of all, this angle, most likely, they're in two things. They're in VR, or they have a 3 monitors, okay? Don't go off in what other professional people do, because it can mess you up. Looking like this, yeah, you may look like, oh, I'm really in depth. I'm going really, this is awesome. And then all of a sudden you hit another car and you whack someone else because you can't see anything. Do what feels comfortable to you. Now, if you have a triple monitor system and set up, that's great. Perfect. Go ahead and do that. But don't do it just because someone else is doing it, right? And just because you want to be a pro. You gotta do what you feels comfortable to you at all times, especially when you're racing. So you wanna. So here, like I said, I'm gonna set it back to 80 quickly, and I'm gonna go up to about that. So that is pretty much how you have settings in there. Now, there's another way of doing this, and you can get a little more detailed, which is to go into replay, as you're in right now, get into cockpit mode, okay? And it will set the same way. This will set the same way in your view. So you want to hit, I'm doing this right. Want to hit Control F12, okay? Or way you can do that, Control F12. And then this also changes the depth of this. So again, I'm going to be about 80-ish right here. This can adjust how high you're going up. Left to right as well. Again, try to be as center as possible. Some people like to kind of be a little more closer to the other side. This does another depth perception as well. This is all about other exposure and shake. Don't worry about that. That's just but that's another way of doing it. And how you do that to save that, you just hit save car. It says car cam, whatever. Type whatever you want in there. Hell, let me do this. Let me just put right. Go do that. Right. And I'll save to that. Okay, and then go out of your F12 system. And then when you hit that, it's all set in there the way you have it. Okay. There's 8.1 on there, so which I in one. That's good. So that's how you can do it. That's another way of doing it. You can be more fine-tuned that way versus going this direction. But generally, like if you're in a really run, like you're just practicing qualifying rest, all this, it's also going to the graphics system on here. It's about the same, or it's probably even better than doing that other way. But anyways, that's how you do it that way. And before you know it, you got your car set up. Of course, you see the mirrors, the regular mirrors on here that are off. They're actually designed for the car. Again, that's under graphics settings. I talked about that a little bit in another video I did. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much how you get it done for the driver settings. And if you did like this video, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to this channel and would like to see more of this, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. Comment below if you have any concerns, questions about other things. I will have more videos. Next time we will get into actually learn how to race, or at least test anyways, and we'll talk about that in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next one.